This picture kind of sums up the recent reaction to Caitlin Clark and the referees from the game against the Minnesota Lynx. I pointed it out that she was frustrated. I didn't realize it would become as big a talking point as it has become since then. And Caitlin Clark definitely cried to the refs, definitely complained to the refs. There were moments where she was on the floor, apoplectic about the lack of a call. And, we've seen that from basketball players in the past. I mean, LeBron James has been criticized for complaining to the refs, even though I don't think he does it that much. Luka Doncic clearly complains to the refs a lot. I mean, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, guys like that complain to the refs a bunch. So it's not a new thing in basketball, but with Caitlin Clark, everything becomes a talking point. And there is a thin line between losing yourself, losing your emotions, and being a competitor. And Clark showed leadership by taking responsibility for the clutch, crucial turnover she had in the game against the Lynx. But as the leader of the team on the floor, she also has to make sure she doesn't lose her cool. I think Christy Side said after the game, my point guard needs to have the emotions under control. So that could be a learning experience for Caitlin Clark as well. Because when it comes to the playoffs, not only can she not get technicals, of course, because that's going to hurt the team, but she needs to have herself under control because she's controlling everything for the Indiana Fever. Now, you see some of the instances in the game that took place the other day. Clark admitting that her emotions got the best of her. You see this play right here where Caitlin is clearly upset about a lack of a foul call, laying on the floor, even though Collier rejected her right there. But, she didn't even get up and run back on defense. So that is certainly worth pointing out. There were plenty of other moments throughout that game. Of course, with the Lynx, who Caitlin had singled out as sort of the toughest team to face. But here's another just like that, where you see Caitlin Clark, again, from the other angle, laying on the floor and not wanting to get up and get back into the action. She was demonstrative with the officials at times in the game, the way that she reacted. Also, you can see it on this play right here. Yay, refs, way to go. Good job. You made a call. So, she's going to be under a microscope as always. And Caitlin's a competitor. Of course, she's a competitor. So you're going to get some reaction from her. I guess the question is, when is it too much? When is she crossing the line as far as what she does and says out there on the floor? And Clark herself was critical of the way she reacted. Here was Caitlin post-game on that very topic.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a line. I thought it was frustrating. I thought I got fouled a couple times there in the second half on mid-range jump shots. And, I mean, it happens. Sometimes they get called, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. I think I settled a little bit too much for mid-range jump shots. But, like I said, I felt I got bumped a little bit, and I was honestly trying to shot fake them to get them to foul me. But I mean, I think I could have done a little bit better job controlling my own emotions, but I think it just started bad for us and then continued to snowball. And that's something we have to control a little bit better. Not only did we not execute on the offensive end in the third quarter, but I thought they destroyed us offensively. Our defense wasn't very good. So I think just improving in that area and just all kind of gathering our emotions a little bit better and finding better shots. I thought we kind of stopped playing in a way that made us successful in the first half. So, just a good learning opportunity for us. I feel like we could have played a lot better. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a line, and sometimes your passion and your emotion can get to you, but that's never something I would ever change, or anybody on our team would change. So
I like the fact that, she takes accountability for it, takes responsibility for it, but also is self-aware enough to know, that's who she is. That's part of what makes her what she is and why she is the kind of player, she is the kind of competitor that she is. And, she also talked about the Lynx themselves and gave credit to the opposition. Wasn't just complaining and crying about the referees, Caitlin Clark was very complimentary of the opponent that they faced in the game.
Is Minnesota. Obviously, they're one of the top teams. Are there things maybe you've learned specifically from playing this team in these 2 games that you guys can help you going forward?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think they're the hardest team in the league to guard, probably. I think their movement is incredible. The way they play is incredible. It's how basketball should be played. I think our matchup is so good for our matchup is just great for basketball too. Like if you want to watch 2 teams that play basketball the right way, it's this. Yeah. Play up tempo, you share the ball. It's not sets all the time. Like they run great action, they run great ball screen stuff. They space the floor. All 5 of them can shoot at all times. It's hard to guard, especially when they're running clear side pick and roll with feed. Like she demands so much attention, and then you're stunting at you're guarding 3 or 4. You're guarding 3 3-point shooters with 2 people. Like there's only so much you can do, and Carleton makes us pay, especially there late. And we're closing out to her, doing our best. So I think for us, it's just you gotta play a step ahead. You know what they're gonna do. You got to be over there earlier. And we had some possessions where we were really good, but at the same time, like we gave up 34 points in the paint, and this is a team that loves the 3-point line. So we got to either make them shoot more threes. We got to guard the paint a little bit better, but at the same time, we need to score in the paint more. Like that's not an area that we did well tonight. Is we have to beat them in points in the paint, and we can't tie with them.
So that is again showing her awareness and court vision. I mean, basketball genius. Caitlin Clark is a basketball genius. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But they can't have the kind of performance from Nalissa Smith that they had in that game and beat a team like the Minnesota Lynx. They have to get out on the 3-point shooters. They missed Lexi Hull down the stretch of the game because of her defense, her physicality, her hustle, all those things. So the refs, whatever, that's something you got to deal with. But Clark is, you could tell she just gets it. She just gets it. So even the mistakes, crying to the refs too much, takes accountability for. The turnover takes accountability for. I do think, and I've been harping on it, but there is one roster piece missing for the Fever, that stretch 4 kind of player who can guard a couple of positions and make the other team pay on both ends of the floor. That's kind of the one thing they're missing, especially considering Kelsey Mitchell is undersized defensively. And, in the front court, they have a bunch of different power forwards who all do different things in Dantas and Temi Fagbenle and Nalissa Smith, but none of them does everything that they need. Still, with that said, they went head up with the Lynx, even with the frustration, even with all that, and had a chance to win the game. And they've only lost 2 games since the Olympics break. They both come to Minnesota. So even if Caitlin's saying those are that's the best basketball you want to see, that's not the team that the Fever want to see in the first round.